Well, you're right in time for your favorite TV show, PLG, Politics, Leadership and Governance. My name is Rida Chebret Kering, and you can join us. You can follow this conversation on Facebook and YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE. Also, you can send your question. You can comment on the show on 0746 999 And of course, I'm not alone in studio. I'm joined by Bushebi Jr. Welcome, Bushebi Jr.
Thank you so much once again to this show, and we really appreciate you, our viewer, for all the feedback messages and the immense feedback that we are getting from you.
Yeah, so today you're going to talk about a lot, but majorly we're going to focus on succession politics. We know that politics sai imeshika with we have less than 5 months to the general elections, which is scheduled for 8th August. And Bushebi Jr., let's talk about Deputy President, who is currently in United States of America. And he talked on, was it on Wednesday? And he said that democracy of the country is under threat. And when you talk about democracy, what is a democracy? Democracy is a system of government in which laws, policies, leadership, and major undertaking are directly or indirectly decided by the people. When you say the people, those are the citizens majorly. So before we continue, before you even comment on that, let's have a look at the clip of where the Deputy President was saying that democracy of the country is under threat.
The biggest issue that is on the ballot is the democracy of our nation. That's a matter that is on the ballot, and that's a matter that many Kenyans, in fact, if you understand a bit of Kiswahili, that's what informs the current push by many Kenyans to say hatupangwingwi, meaning we want to make our choices without being choreographed or chaperoned or blackmailed or intimidated.
All right, that is Deputy President William Ruto in Maryland, that is in US. What is your take on DP's sentiments?
First of all, I would really like to talk about the same democracy. I think you made it so clear that democracy is a system of governance where people are directly or indirectly governing themselves, either through elected individuals that they place there, or they can decide to govern themselves directly. That is why we have seen cases of it's called wananchi coup. You know, wananchi can march and get somebody out of office if they get tired of your non-performing character. And we've seen quite a number in many countries. There's a country that wananchi walked up to the State House and forced the president to resign because they govern themselves. Or they can go through an electoral process where they select a certain people to go and create policies and laws and do quite a number of undertakings so that they can forge the vision that the country or the region wants to achieve. And so when Deputy President in a foreign country says that that whole process is under threat through intimidation and blackmail, that really sends a very disturbing message, because he's one of the people, in fact he's at the forefront of saying that elections have never been rigged against Raila Odinga, except 2007 when he was in opposition. That's when he was fighting and said elections were rigged. And then he's also on record saying that mkiona mimi ni mtu naweza ibiwa kura kweli, and things like that. He also cited the state machinery, you know, being used to blackmail and intimidate. And that message, especially when he was talking, it's a chilling message that Kenyans really need to interrogate. and try to find out more what the deputy president actually meant when he said this process. And you remember, elections is just part of the democracy or the democratic system of our country. It's just one of the arms where it is used to select leaders who are going to spearhead lawmaking and policy making and achieving the vision of the country. So he says that process is under threat. And when you say process, you're talking about a system of agencies, a system of individuals involved, state offices involved, like like agencies like the IBC. We look at the cohesion group, we look at the wananchi themselves, we look at the religious groups, we look at so many, everyone is involved in that system. So when you say this whole thing is under threat, intimidation and blackmail, by who? And he cited even the threat going to the extent where the state machinery can be used to blackmail, or is being used to blackmail, as he alleged, and stuff like that. It sends a chilling message, especially from a person who's been chest thumping and saying that can never happen. And then also put in consideration what other agencies have been saying. And remember, William Ruto is a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. You're a Kenyan first, and then you're the deputy president, or you're the politician that was elected to hold a certain office. So when he's speaking, we cannot say that right now deputy president is speaking as William Ruto, or he's speaking as both a Kenyan, he's speaking as a deputy president, he's speaking on behalf of the electorate, and he's speaking on behalf of especially the electorate that is supporting him. Okay, he's speaking on their behalf. He's telling them, okay, listen, and not just in Kenya, even those who are supporting him in foreign countries, because matters elections, and remember we're talking about the presidential election. Matters elections is not just a matter of Kenyans alone. Even foreign countries. Remember, you see what happened, what is happening to Putin. He's right now facing what I can call one world wherever, the whole world is coming against him. So you can't just do anything because you think this is your country and I'm going to, decide to do what I want to do. There's international countries, there's foreign countries. We are one. And so when he's speaking, he's not just speaking on behalf of Kenyans alone, the people that believe in him and follow him. He's also speaking on behalf of people outside. And what message is he sending? So what we are looking at, and my point is, it is a chilling statement when a sitting deputy president says the electoral process that is part of the democratic governance of the country is under threat.
Yeah, and he is citing blackmails and also intimidation. Who exactly is being intimidated? We are in the country, and we know what is happening, even if it's not all that is happening, but some. When he talks of blackmails and also intimidations, what exactly is he talking about?
I would go back a little bit and remind Kenyans about Sabina Chege when she said that kuna kaukweli mahali labda tuliiba elections. Okay, we rigged in Deputy President and Uhuru Kenyatta into office. Okay, na kama tulifanya hivyo, si kuna uwezekano pia hata hii tunaweza nini. You remember that statement? And IBC came in strongly to interrogate her, okay, in a legal way until she became sick. And up to this day, things, she's been so quiet. She has not attended any other rally, and she has not said anything again to do with the election process. And the big question is, as Kenyans interrogate Deputy President over his speech in the United States, IEBC must also do the same thing that they did to Sabina Chege. Because these two statements and these two individuals are speaking the same thing. Okay? they are all putting the trust in IEBC in question. Okay, they are saying, look here, there is this and this that is going to happen, so this is happening, intimidation is happening, and blackmail is happening, and this is a threat, which means it's going to jeopardize the outcome of the elections. And who is the spearheading agency of that election? It's IEBC. So will they summon Deputy President William Ruto to explain exactly what he means by the electoral process is under threat and intimidation? I think when he said that, he quoted state machinery. And when you say state machinery, he's in government. Okay? Yeah. And he's saying the state machinery is being used to blackmail people and stuff like that. So we will go by his statement. If we go by his statement, that simply tells you that he's saying the government that he's part of is using the resources of the same government to intimidate some people so that to alter the results of the elections, whether through process altering or whichever way that they will try to circumvent and force a certain individual into office. And we all know what he's talking about because he's been saying the same thing. Deputy President is running against Raila Odinga, and he's been against the endorsement of Raila Odinga as a presidential candidate by Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta ditched Deputy President William Ruto, something that didn't go down well with him. And he's on record saying that he does not approve, and he's even called Raila Odinga a state project. So when he says state machinery is being used to intimidate and blackmail people so that a certain outcome of elections can be achieved, what he's simply saying is that the state machinery is being used to force in Raila Odinga to become the president.
And now let's look at the electoral body, that is IEBC. When you look at the preparations that the IEBC is making towards the general elections, can you see that there is any indications that maybe the elections will be incredible and maybe there will be some malpractices here and there?
I think IEBC is in a good position to solve this matter, because it is IEBC that has been placed at the center. Whenever somebody says we are under blackmail and intimidation and stuff like that, that simply means whoever is the CEO, the director, needs to give direction in this matter, and that's IEBC. Okay, because these are players talking. These are players talking. Okay, so the referee must come out and say, no, I want to make the decision. I want to solve this thing once and for all. You just can't keep quiet. Okay, the same way they strongly came against Sabina Chege, and they were like, no, you are also a player in this team, and I'm the referee. Can you please explain to us your problem so that we see how we are going to sort this out? Otherwise, if IEBC keeps quiet and does not address these issues, then it is IEBC that is being looked at as an untrustworthy entity in this whole game, because you're the ref. Watasema ref alifanya nini? Alionea pande moja ama pande nyingine. So it is IEBC to come out so strongly, not the players, because players can do anything. Player anaweza kukutega, player anaweza kukuvuruta shati uanguke chini ili usifunge hiyo bao. You know, it's a dirty game. Like they say, politics is a dirty game. It's about interests, and people can do whatever they can do to attain their interests. So when players are throwing out statements like what Deputy President William Ruto said, it is IEBC that must come in strongly and say, listen, this is what we are doing to make sure that the whole process gives us credible results. Okay? And we heard what you said in the US. Please, we are asking you to come and explain further. Because you have said that umechezewa mbaya. Okay? And huenda maneno haitakuwa mzuri, maybe bao zako hazita hesabiwa or something like that. So the IEBC must come out strongly and sort this thing out, because it's the referee. we've seen IEBC doing quite a number of trainings for commissioners and managers. You know, we've seen IEBC even training their commissioners and other senior people.
Officers like CEO office.
Yes.
They've also met the IG, who is the Inspector General of Police.
Yes, Hilary Mtiambai on matters security during the general elections. We've seen IBC training the same. It's officials over matters communication during this time of elections. IBC has been engaging the media over the same on how to disseminate information during this time of elections. We've seen Media Council coming out so strongly, and we've seen Media Council, by the way, all over the country, trying to streamline dissemination of information during the electioneering period. Yeah. So there's quite a lot that is going on. But at the same time, we've seen and we've heard and we have reports of IEBC saying they don't even have enough money to run the whole system.
Yes.
Okay? So these are issues that we need to see the agencies coming out strongly, engaging the players. Right now, Deputy President William Ruto is a player. Okay? He's a player. He's a presidential aspirant. Okay? Raila Odinga is a presidential aspirant. They are all players in the game. The referee is the IEBC. We are the ones watching the game, and we are also part of the game because we are going to vote. Okay? So we want to have trust in the whole democratic system. So when one person says this and this is happening, it is not a question of taking sides. It is a question of interrogating them. Like the way we are interrogating the statement of William Samoei Ruto, the same way we interrogated the statements of Sabina Chege, the same way we interrogated the speech at Sagana 3, what President Uhuru Kenyatta said. I mean, all players must come out strongly to interrogate these things. So it's not a matter of just attacking the deputy president and saying, why did you say this? Why did you go? And it's not a matter of politics. You know, these are serious allegations that he's making. Whether they are true or not, that is what we want to know. And he has to tell us more about what he knows about intimidation and blackmail, and even take legal action if there's anything.
Yeah, and you know, it's not Deputy President William Ruto alone and Sabina Chege who are complaining that maybe elections is not fair. We've seen in quite many cases the ODM party leader Raila Odinga complaining since 2007. He said that the elections are not fair. 2013 the same, 2017 the same. Could there be any truth? Because if more than 4 people come out and say that the elections are not fair.
The only elections that we can confidently say they were a failure, because we have legal bodies to handle such matters. We are not the court that decides sheria inasema nini wapi, na sheria ndio inaamua whether somebody made a mistake or not. And the only elections that we can
before even continue, even yes. 2017 the court
exactly
said that
that's
the elections were
exactly that is the only election that we can confidently say it was the democratic rights of Kenyans, and the whole system was null and void. It wasn't followed correctly. So that one we can confidently talk about and say, you know, this happened because it went through the whole process, and eventually the court said, Maraga said this thing, hii kitu ilifanywa lakini anomalies ni mingi sana, so mtarudi debe. Okay? So when IBC fails, the Sharia court will come and interpret what does the law say about this and this and this. And eventually, what is happening right now, Rida, let me tell you, is that Kenyans do not want to go through that again. We don't want to go through court proceedings. We don't want to waste a lot of money on doing unnecessary round twos, you know. And just because we are not getting it right, can we get it right this time? Is it possible to get it right this time? All the way from the basics of attitude. Kama umeshindwa kura, utasimama congratulate mwenye amechukua simu mpigie, I congratulate you for winning. Is it possible? Is it possible in Kenya that we can run a credible election and whoever ameshindwa aseme ni we don't have a problem with the elections za chini mara mingi, pale juu kwa president ndo kuna kuaga na shida kubwa sana. So can we get it right this time? And when deputy president, who is a main contender in this election, they begin speaking the way they are speaking right now, you know, that's why I said it's a chilling message. Okay, what message are you sending to the electorate? That election ikishapigwa tufanyeje? Tukatae ama tufanye nini? You know, those are the things we need to interrogate right now. IBC must come in strongly. The courts must, I mean, somebody should go to court. Okay? Kinaokia Umtata, they should now take up the mantle and run, you know, to court and interrogate. You know, going to court doesn't mean unaenda kufunga Deputy President William Ruto. No, you're actually following a legal way of interrogating him. Just the same way in media, they will have these discussions to interrogate him. Okay? And make these things clear. If there's any form of blackmail and intimidation, is it possible to put somebody, is it possible for someone to be accountable for this? Okay? Yeah. Can we be a country where we are able to be accountable for our actions? Okay? Yeah. So that's the big question. We don't have answers. We are right now in the stage of interrogating. Okay? Yeah,
and all these things coming because of the succession politics played by President Uhuru Kenyatta. When you see you said Deputy President was saying that Raila is a state project. This is because President Uhuru Kenyatta endorsed him as the flag bearer of Azimio la Umoja. Do you think that Uhuru is right when he involves himself in succession politics?
There's nothing wrong in involving himself in succession politics. Okay? It is his right. He's a Kenyan, like we said, and I've always said, this is my opinion. Okay, President Uhuru Kenyatta is first a Kenyan, so you cannot deny him his rights as a Kenyan just because you want to pursue your own interests. Okay, he's a Kenyan. He has a preference on how he also wants his country to run. Just the same way you also want a certain leader because you're a Kenyan. Yeah. So we cannot deny President Uhuru Kenyatta his rights as a Kenyan just because you think he's the head of state. Number two, he's also the head of state. And he can say, he can endorse. Mi sioni mahali sheria inamkataza ama inamfunga. Kama angekuwa amefanya makosa, mtu angekuwa ameenda court akasema it is legally wrong. It is illegal, actually, that's the word. It is illegal for Uhuru Kenyatta to endorse Raila Odinga and he is the head of state. Nani ameenda kota? Si ni kelele tu watu wanapiga. Ni siasa tu. Kama Uhuru Kenyatta alifanya makosa, so uende umshtaki. Useme tunataka huyu president afungwe kwa sababu amefanya nini? Ameendorse Raila Odinga. It would be a different case.
Well, we've seen religious leaders coming out and saying that it's not illegal. Yes, he is a Kenyan, but because he's also the symbol of national unity, and maybe he's when he plays a part in succession politics, is kind of dividing Kenyans. So he should just not support any side until his term comes to an end, just for the safety of the unity of the country.
You know, we should not misinterpret the unity of the country to mean that we cannot disagree. Okay? Just because you disagree with my opinions and my ideologies doesn't mean we are divided. Okay? We are not divided because you want to eat chipokok na mimi nataka nikule chipokuku. Yeah? So we become enemies. We are going to fight. Okay? That is not the case. These are, I respect religious leaders. I come from that background. Okay? But this is the point. We cannot just impose our opinions on people. Okay? And as they say that, President Uhuru Kenyatta is listening and is accommodating their opinions, but he won't follow what they are saying. It doesn't mean he is divided. If something else, maybe they need help somewhere or they need the president elsewhere, President Uhuru Kenyatta now cannot come in because we are now divided. This is just a difference of ideologies. Listen, I do not subscribe to the ideologies of so and so, so I'm preferring this person. Okay? Even among the religious leaders themselves, there are those who support Raila Odinga and there are those who support Deputy President William Ruto. Okay? There are those who are in Azimio and there are those who are in Kenya Kwanza. So that is hypocrisy.
Yeah, talking about that, we saw on Wednesday, the religious body came out and said that the religious leaders in churches should stop endorsing certain leaders in their churches in order to avoid politics in churches, because kwa makanisa unapata kuna watu wa mirengo tofauti tofauti, na hapa ndio inafaa kuleta watu wote pamoja. So religious leaders and churches should stop saying that fulani tosha.
Now that's a discussion, a whole new level of discussion that I think most churches are private entities, and they have their own constitution, they have their own way of doing things. That is why you'll find Catholic Church is different from SEK is different from Pentecostal and stuff. So they have their own ways of doing their things. And so you cannot throw a blanket a policy or opinion that, you know, what if those who want politicians to be endorsed in their churches want it that way, and this other person who doesn't want it says from today this is the Sharia, hakuna kuweka politician kwa kanisa kuongea.
But I think that is the work of that body, because the other time you're the one who were talking about the controlling the churches and regulating, not even controlling, regulating, to ensure that kanisa ina regulate kwa ile mienendo ambayo haita affect wananchi pia.
But it must have a limit. Just because I'm a Kenyan and I own a home in Kenya and I have a wife in Kenya and children, I am a father, I have a limit on what I can do in my home to my wife and to my children. I have a limit. I can't go overboard. Huwa wanasema hiyo process ingine ya kutengeneza mtoto, hiyo ni wewe huko na authority. Lakini mtoto akishazaliwa ni mtoto wa nchi, wa serikali. There's just nothing you can do. Wewe sema serikali hizi niambia chochote kwa sababu mimi ndio nilizaa huyu mtoto. Yeah? Unachapa mtoto anaumia, serikali itakufunga. Okay? So there's a limit. Even churches, as much as we say churches should be regulated, there's a limit. To what limit should the churches be regulated? You can cite a few things. For example, mtu mwenye anaibia watu pesa kwa kanisa. For example, mtu ambaye anaambia watu dunia inaisha kesho, tujifungie kwa kanisa, tujichome ama tuuze kila kitu. You see, that's misleading. That way, the state can come in, or that church body can come in and, you know, try and regulate a few things. Or if during this time of political, sagas and there's a lot that is going on, the church can sit down and discuss and say, you know what, you are from this denomination, you are from this denomination. What do you think is the common ground or common policy that we can follow so that we are not part of, confusing people? But there are limits.
Yeah.
Okay? There are limits. Kuna mmoja atamka aseme mimi kanisa yangu, mimi nimeamua Raila Odinga lazima aongee kwa madhabahu. Na mwingine atasema mimi Raila Odinga ama Ruto hawezi kanyaga kwa madhabahu. Hautamfunga, utampeleka mfunge wapi? So there's a limit. I mean, it's not as easy. Mtu ameinvest kwa entity yake. And you know, when I talk of investment, watu wanaweza kusema kanisa ni investment, but it's true, people invest in churches. Kwani hizo magari zinaokota, unaenda kwa Toyota unawaambia I'm a pastor, I need one car and they give you for free. Nothing like that happens. But back to the point, okay, where religious leaders are saying that President Uhuru Kenyatta should not be involved in succession politics. I think for me it's being hypocritical. Because you have your right, okay, as religious people, okay? You have your right to even say whatever you are saying, okay?
Yeah.
To even advise the president and tell him, President, don't be involved in succession politics. But you are saying the president should shut up and not say anything to do with succession politics. That's a lie. He must say something. He must endorse someone. He must give direction. Then why are you a leader? Why are you a leader who is retiring and you don't say every day you're just quiet? For example, you're the pastor, you're the founding pastor, you're the bishop, or you're the leader of that denomination. Okay? You are retiring and you're not saying anything. Every day you're just quiet. How will the congregation know where they're supposed to go? A leader must give direction.
Well, thank you so much, Bushebi Junior. I'm seeing our director is saying our first time is up. We are going for a short commercial break. I will be back shortly. My name is Rida Tibet Karing, and in studio with me is
Bushebi Junior. You really wanted me to say my name.
Yes, and continue engaging with us. Facebook, Maisha Television Kenya, YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE. Our phone number is also there, 0746 999 841.